I'm Rebecca and this is my husband Chris. We're Carter's parents. So in June 2019 we found out that he had a heart condition. They told us that he had MAPCAS, pulmonary atresia and a VSD and would need surgery. So in October 2019 he was born at Stoke Royal Hospital. We were sent across to Birmingham. They then did a catheter on him. We were here for a week at that time. They said that we were fine at that time, we could go home, everything looked okay and there's nothing that they needed to do there and then. And then it wasn't until June 2020 we came back to the hospital for his first open heart surgery, which is when we had a 5-month stay at the Birmingham House. 2 weeks, they said, recovery after the open heart surgery, but he just kept having setbacks and he was catching loads of viruses and he had to operate another 2 times, wasn't it? He had another 2 operations after that. He had a rocky journey. You have a constant sinking feeling. It's as you're handing over your child for such a massive surgery, you feel helpless, you can't do anything for them, you know that they've got to do it to survive.
You know, when you see him there, lying there with a band on saying open chest, and he's got all these wires and he's not responsive and he's, you know, when he's swollen because of the surgery, it's not your child lying there, and you feel a sense of guilt that you've put him in that situation.
Nothing can prepare you to
nothing can put you in that.
See a child like that.
And I think, but you know, as the time got on, it became easier to understand, you know, you're doing this for the right reasons. But the first time Carter went up to the ward, I stayed overnight with him because he just didn't seem himself, you know, and he was constantly crying or upset. Because he's so little, he can't tell you what's wrong with him. And he just looked so uncomfortable all the time, you know, when we'd take him for walks or up and down the ward, you know, as when we could, because of COVID, you couldn't mix with other babies or nothing. So it was just like walking up the ward, back down again, try and keep him settled and calm. And, you know, and this one night he just gave up. Just stopped and gave up. He had a
respiratory arrest and ended up back on PICU, which was the first time when we knew that after his operation something wasn't right, and that happened another 3 times that we nearly lost him and he had to be reintubated, and obviously the resuscitation try came, all the doctors just come swarming around you. It's something that'd stay with me forever.
It was tough.
So then you just sit there for what feels like hours outside of a room while they're working on him and making him stable, and you're just waiting, and again you just feel helpless, like you can't do anything. Like, you're meant to be the parent of this little baby and there's nothing you can do, and you're just sitting there waiting. Spent his first birthday in hospital. Birmingham House were lovely, they brought him presents and they were just there for us, weren't they?
It was
really
like a home from
supported
home,
us.
wasn't it?
Yeah, we were an hour away from family, friends. Felt quite lonely really, just being on our own in the hospital. So we came back here and rested and just tried to get our thoughts together. Especially when Chris had to go back to work, I just had someone to talk to. Like, sometimes I just stand at the reception talking to Tracy and Jolene, just because it just felt like that bit of normality. It wasn't hospital talk, it was in a nice environment, but it was just nice to have that friendship really, and have someone support you and that doesn't really know you but knows exactly what you're going through. We did get really close to another family whose little girl was in PICU. They put us next to each other because they both had the same condition as well, similar journey to Carter, and they were staying in the house as well. So we had a takeaway one night, didn't we? We all come back, sat in one of the communal kitchens upstairs, and
it was just like normal chat. It felt more
like you had your friends around,
it
so
was
having a
like
takeaway at home.
Your friends, yes.
That was lovely. So we're really close to them, aren't we? We still are. So that's a friendship I think we're going to have for life.
Carter's best friend for life, I think.
Yeah. See, the kitchen does have everything that you need. A nice place to sit and eat after a long day being at the hospital.
Storage cupboards as well.
Yeah.
And there's that big donation cupboard as well that
you could,
food banks and things donate to.
Yeah, that you could take out of if you needed
anything.
But it did mean a lot to have that support as well, to just see somebody in the kitchen and have a little bit of a conversation really made your day, didn't it?
It did,
really,
yeah,
to have that.
it did.
The amount of days we stayed at £25 rate, it would have been about £3,500. We would never have been able to afford it. Obviously, hotel prices are a lot more than that as well anyway.
But I think overcoming it has made us stronger as a family. He's like the final piece to the puzzle.
He's very special.
He's very, very special. Yeah.
We, like many others, were completely unaware of what the Ronald McDonald House was, what them boxes were in McDonald's. So we do try to tell everybody that asks us about Carter's journey and how much they meant to us whilst we were staying here, and just helping to get donations in, and so they can keep families close to each other during the most difficult times.
The more people that know, the better.
Gotta get the word out there, haven't we?
Cheeky boy.